there's such a big part of me that wishes social media could go back a couple of years at when we just put up photos of our food and our friends and stuffing around, rather than this like massive hot pot of just political issues or that a lot of people have no involvement in or no little influence over, and it's just anger and hate based, and so much of it is not backed by any science or even logic to so much of it. And I get asked a lot of my thoughts on political issues, and there's a few reasons why I'm very apolitical online and don't choose to comment. The first one being, why is my opinion or word any more important than anyone else's? It doesn't matter that I've got X amount of followers. It's no more or less than anyone else's. I've got the same information presented to me, and, sort of, it's almost like you have this verification through your following that you know more than, the average person, and that is just absolutely false. I'm definitely not more knowledgeable than the average person, and I've got, so much, I've got the exact amount of information presented to me as anyone else. And the other thing is, a lot of it I just don't give a shit about. It's not that I don't care about what people are protesting for or what their cause is. It's that the way it almost seems in the environment to go about something now is not by being pro something. It's by being anti. And instead of being, this is what I want, it's this is what we don't want. And I think it's such a hard thing to have online that I've always thought, because I've thought about going into politics, and, I'm comfortable to speak, and, I think I have, well, at least in my mind, as everyone does, fairly open views about things. But it seems like now you can't be on either side of the fence. It's almost like your political identity is where your whole grouping is. And if you say this, then this amount of people hate you. And I almost congratulate anyone in politics, because it's almost like these days 50% of people will hate you. And more what I'm saying is, it's okay to be on both sides of the fence. It's okay to agree with parts of this and parts of that. And it's okay to identify good leaders here and bad leaders there, even if you don't agree with them. And I've got good friends of mine on, absolute different ends of the spectrum of political views. And I think something that we've almost all mixed in is that it's not their sole identity. You can still be friends with them, even if half of what they say I think, that's not what I think, but who cares? It's almost become such like a politicized thing that, this person, you can't be friends with them if they think this. And I'm not talking about extreme views where people are getting hurt and injured and whatever. I'm talking about little things. And my whole thing is, I've got both left-wing views and right-wing views. There's parts of, we live in a capitalistic society, and there's parts of that I agree with. And then there's so many parts of looking after, the community that I also agree with. And that's okay. I think what is dangerous is then shutting off any other idea, any other conversation with a group, and then just having yours, because once you're involved in a group, then you have to agree with everything they're going on about, and then you can just go down this rabbit hole. And I think it's so important to step back, look at things for yourself, and adjust and view how you want, and that you don't need to comment on everything online. I see people, every political thing they're on about, and I'm like, well, if you want to do that and if you want to make a difference, why don't you become a politician? Why don't you become a journalist? And I think so many people don't actually want to make that change, that they want to be seen doing the right thing because they're within this group that has created an echo chamber on social media, and that if they didn't, then they might be extradited by their friends. And I think that is just such BS. And there's a part of me that thinks I'd hate that my close friends, if I were to, take a political stance on something, would then be like, I like Willie for 99%, but that 1%, fuck him, I can't agree with him on that. And I think at the end of the day, us normal, moral, good people, which the majority of people are, all want the same thing. We all want people to be looked after and to better, ourselves and our families and the wider community. And I think people have different ways about it. But a little bit like, our genetics, we're 99% probably the same. And what I'm sort of saying is don't let that 1% turn you away from a really healthy, good friendship or relationship or job or whatever. We have an open political environment, and that is something I think people maybe not take for granted. So many countries in the world, I think people wish they could have, the right to protest and the right to do this, and I completely agree with that, and the right to speak like this in front of a camera if you want. We are such a lucky country to be able to do that, and I think it wouldn't take much digging to find so many places you can't, and that we're safe. So my big tip, is to maybe take a step back, maybe look at, why you're doing this, and that it's okay to have, agreements or disagreements to your friends and agreements with others, and think, well, this is good, even though if I don't agree with other things, that's fine, rather than lumping yourself in one category, because that can become very dangerous. Yeah, this is just another video of me talking shit because can't really leave the house. Yeah, cheers. Thanks, dudes.
Yeah, can't. Yeah.